everyone! Today we're digging into something a lot of specialty coffee fans have probably already noticed without realizing it. Kurasu, the Kyoto coffee brand that's been quietly expanding across Asia, Singapore, Bangkok, and then Jakarta. And now we're asking, is South Korea next?
Which is exactly why we bought the full team today. I'm Tania. I will be looking at this rogue as strategy lens, 5 versus diamond theory, the framework that tell us why this could actually work.
I'm Virginie. I'll be coming at this from the corporate side, who Kurasu actually is, why Korea, and how the business model translates.
And I'm Nada. I'm covering two hats today, both the government and regulatory angle, and the NGO and sustainability side. Basically, everything that isn't pure business, but absolutely determines whether this expansion survives contact with reality.
So let's get into it. I'll start us off. Who is Kurasu and why does South Korea make sense? Kurasu was founded in 2013 by Yozo Atsuki, a former Goldman Sachs banker who moved to Sydney and started an online Japanese homeware shop. In 2015, he rebranded to focus purely on coffee, locking in two principles that still define Kurasu: Japanese craftsmanship and education, delivered direct to consumer globally. From there, growth came in three waves. First, purely online, shipping to 25 countries and launching a subscription service in 2015. Then physical, the Kyoto stand opened in 2016, roasting in-house at Nisijin Roastery to control quality, followed by Singapore in 2017 and Bangkok in 2019, each led by a local manager. Most recently, Jakarta in 2023, including Kurasu Kisa based on the Japanese Kisaten, a calm contemplative coffee house. Today, Kurasu has grown to nearly 40 staff, with founding barista Ayaka Oki now director. The product ecosystem spans physical cafes, retail coffee, brewing gear through patterns like Hario and Kinto, the subscription service, tea and merchandise, and e-commerce reaching over 25 countries. Now, why Korea? The market hit 13.57 billion US dollars in 2025, growing at almost 10% a year toward 34.5 billion by 2035. Koreans drink over 405 cups per capita annually, among the highest in Asia. But there's a clear split. The specialty segment is growing faster at around 11% CAGR, while the overall market is dominated by mass franchises, Starbucks, Adella Pikes, Hollies. And roughly 1 in 10 new coffee shops close within their first year. Since Korea imports nearly all its coffee beans, the market structurally depends on imported origin stories, and that's exactly the space Kurasu already occupies. Four capabilities give Kurasu a real edge here. Its vertically controlled, origin-authentic supply chain through Nisijin Roastery, its proven localized leadership entry model already tested in Singapore, Bangkok, and Jakarta, its education-first, born global brand DNA, and its design and craftsmanship partnerships. Now, I want to walk through how Kurasu actually creates value as it enters Korea using Porter's value chain framework. Starting with the primary activities. The roasted coffee ships directly from Nisijin Roastery in Kyoto, with some volume also going through local wholesale partners like Fritz Coffee. The roasting itself stays in Japan. Korea's side of things is just brewing and retail. That's intentional because it protects the whole Kyoto origin story that makes the brand authentic in the first place. Distribution runs through the flagship cafe, e-commerce, and the subscription model. On marketing, we're not competing on price, we're selling education through content on Kakao and Naver. And the service itself is built around the Kisaren concept, which we already know works because it succeeded in Jakarta. And then on the support side, we'll need to set up a local subsidiary in Korea for legal compliance, replicate the same local manager model we use in Singapore and Bangkok, integrate with Kakao Order and Never Pay since 85% of Korean coffee shops already run on those platforms, and keep sourcing from partners like Hario and Kinto, which double as marketing assets since they've already recognized names among Korea's specialty coffee crowd. The takeaway here is that Kurasu's structure can move into Korea without major changes. What's needed is localization, not reinvention. And all of that rolls up into our business model canvas. Our key partners are the local manager, wholesale partners, gear brands, and trade bodies like Kotra and Jetro. The value proposition is straightforward. Authentic Kyoto origin coffee delivered through an education first approach with the Kisaten experience setting it apart from a typical cafe. Our target consumers are young urban specialty coffee drinkers between 25 and 40 years old, design conscious buyers, value adjacent tourists, and B2B wholesale clients. Channels run through the flagship cafe, e-commerce, Kakao and Never ordering, and wholesale. Our cost structure covers rent in Seoul, subsidiary and MFDS certification setup, local staffing, and logistics from Kyoto. And revenue comes from cafe sales, retail subscriptions, wholesales, and potentially franchising down the road.
Okay, thank you, Virginie, for the explanation of the background of Kurasu and the market gap. Now I will explain about the regulatory reality of this expansion spans to government. On the home side, Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and the Ministry of Finance regulate outward investment under the Foreign Exchange and Foreign Trade Actions. Since Kurasu's cafe model falls outside restricted sectors, a post-facto report is definitely sufficient. So JITRO support as a facilitator, such as market intelligence, legal guidance, and particularly relevant given Kurasu scale. And on the host side, it's more layered. Korea Ministry of Food and Drug Safety govern all food import. So Kurasu's beans needs MFDS registration and Korea language labeling under the Food Sanitation Action. Kotra mirror Jetro on the Korea side, helping with business registration and partner access. So if Kurasu enters through a franchise structures, the Korea Fair Trade Commission's franchise disclosure rules apply. And any physical presence requires registering a local subsidiary with the national tax service. So the key tension of Japan's and the Korean side is Japan's food safety certification doesn't automatically transfer to Korea. MFDS applies independent standard to all imports, closing that certification gap before the first commercial shipment is non-negotiable. So, as NGO representative myself, I can say on sustainability, Kurasu sourcing model is structurally compatible with Fair Trade International and Rainforest Alliance standard. So, through it isn't currently certified, which is pursuing certification on at least one product line, will meaningfully strengthen its incredible credibility with Korean consumers. So 36% of whom already said they will pay more for sustainability sourced coffee. Luckily, the Korea Federation for Environmental Movement monitor packaging waste and corporate ESG reporting closely. Kurasu low waste products such as the Sira filter and reusable gear position it favorably. But it needs to avoid this disposable cup dependency that would undercut its own branding. The Korea Fair Trade Federation also promotes fair trade consumption, even an informal partnership would signal authenticity to increasingly supply chain literate consumers. So three dimensions matter most to Korea stakeholders under the ESG lens. First is environmentally, Kurasu, low waste advocacy, and in-house roasting reduce transport emission. And socially, Kurasu mission to make barista work a lifetime career. So this gonna be like embodied by Director Ayaka Oki's own faith and speak directly to Korea discourse on labor dignity in a sector shaped by youth unemployment and gig economy. And culturists predict Japanese coffee craft into Korea carries a soft power dimension. Body like the Korea Foundation may view this positively as culinary diplomacy, especially if Kurasu partner with local Korean barista talent rather than importing Japanese staff. On the entry mode itself, consistent with Kurasu playbook in Singapore, Bangkok, and Jakarta, we recommend a partnership-based presence anchored by a local manager under centralized Kyoto governance. This rolls out in three phases. Phase 1, once 1 through 6, activate Kurasu existing e-commerce channel and establish a wholesale partnership with a creative retailer like Fritz Coffee or Namusairo, building awareness before physical investment. And phase 2, 17 through 18, open a single flagship in Songsudong or Yeonnam-dong, Seoul artisanal like culturally created district, using the chrysanthemum concept to differentiate from the 100,000 existing coffee competing on speed and rise. Phase 3, from 118 onwards, scale the subscription service and barista education programming to build a community layer beyond physical football. And on a risk, market saturation in high risk, mitigated by competing at the origin authenticity tier, so not the confidence tier, and explicitly avoiding direct competition with Starbucks or Adella. Cultural and language barrier are medium to high risk, mitigate by hiring a local leader and investing in a Korean language content. Digital platform dependency is medium risk, is mitigated by integrating Kakao under order and never pay early rather than relying solely on Kurasu's own aid. High real estate cost in premium Seoul district is medium risk, mitigate by starting with one compact flagship before expanding. Regulatory and import compliance is medium risk, mitigate by engaging local customs and compliance agent, and pre-certifying all Nisijin roastery bins under the food sanitation action. Reputational risks from Japan-Korea politics sensitivity is low to medium, mitigate by never marketing Kurasu as a Japanese brand, leading instead with Kyoto craft aesthetic and letting local staff from the brand. And talent retention in Korea's competitive barista culture is low to medium risk, mitigated by offering the same career development track that shape Ayaka Oki's own trajectory.
Thank you both. Let me tie this together. Starting with Porter 5 verses, threat of new entrants is high overall 102,000 cafes, with about 1 in 10 falling in year 1. But the real barrier at the specialty tier is regulatory and infrastructural, and Kurasu already clears both. So, hike at the mass tier, moderate for Kurasu specifically. Supplier power is low to moderate. Kurasu is a passive buyer. It owns its roasting and curates its own gear partnership. Since Korea imports nearly all its coffee, Kurasu Japan origin supply is genuinely hard to replicate locally. Buyer power is moderate. Korean consumers are digitally empowered and can easily compare options. But within the specialty segment, price sensitivity is lower, reinforced by that 36% willingness to pay figure, and the subscription model builds loyalty that shifts power back toward Kurasu. Threat of substitutes is moderate to high generally. Instant coffee, tea, convenience store, RTD coffee all compete for wallet share, but weak specifically for the Kisaran experience, which can't be replicated at home or Starbucks. Competitive rivalry is intense, with Starbucks, Adella, Peaks, Hollies, and many independent cafes competing aggressively. However, few combine vertically integrated Japanese roasting, coffee education, and a global subscription ecosystem like Kurasu. Overall, Korea's market is split. The mass segment is highly competitive and not Kurasu target, while the specialty segment offers stronger pricing power and less direct rivalry. Kurasu vertical integration and unique brand position make the competitive pressure more manageable. Second is the regional development versus regional asset framework. Kurasu built its brand in Korea while benefiting from the country's coffee culture and digital market. Local manager provide local knowledge, partner build trust, and Kutra and Jetro help with market entry. In return, everyone gains value. The key takeaways is that the local manager is the most important partner because they connect Kurasu with Korean customers. Finally, Porter Diamond Theory explains why Kurasu is a good fit for the Korean market. Kurasu brings experienced barista, its own roasting system, and a strong Japanese coffee brand. Korea offers skilled coffee professional, a strong coffee culture, and advanced digital services. Demand is also a good match. Kurasu has proven its concept through its subscription model at Jakarta store, while Korean customers are willing to pay for high-quality specialty coffee. Korea also provides strong business support, including cafe district, reliable logistics, and platforms like Kakao and Naver. Jetro and Kotra help make market entry smoother, while MFDS certification build customer trust. Overall, Kurasu and the Korea market are a strong match. The main challenge is the relationship between Japan and Korea, so Kurasu should focus on its coffee quality and customer experience rather than its national identity.
Okay, and honestly, listening to all three pieces together, the compliance side really isn't the scary part here. MFDS, Potra, the franchise rule, it's all navigable. The real variable is whether they find the right local partner and whether they resist the urge to lean on Japanese-ness too hard in their marketing.
Exactly. That's the line Kurasu has to walk. Lead with craft, not nationality. If they get that right, Song Sudong or Yeonam-dong genuinely feels like the natural next chapter after Jakarta.
So, will Kurasu actually open in Seoul? We obviously don't run the company, but based on everything we just walked through, the fit is there.
So if you want to see how this all breakdowns, value chain, the MC, the full risk matrix, everything in the description below.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Virginie.
I'm Nada.
And I'm Tania. See you next time.